Well, Justin needs to rely on me to be able to get a turkey this year. It was kind of nice. What's the problem here, Justin? And now I'm birdless.
You had the better spot, and you didn't have a tag, so off I went. You sent me on a mission to go shoot a turkey.
I'm birdless now.
on your lease, and well, that's kind of what happened. So,
well, I'll tell you what. I mean, speaking of leases, this lease that we've had with Hunting Lease Network it's been a good money spot for turkeys. I mean, they like being up high in those ridges. That's one thing that I continue to learn the more that I hunt these turkeys. I mean,
oh yeah,
you know, they like being way up there.
This is where you shot your bird last year.
Yep.
The crazy thing is, so I was out there earlier this year with Joey during youth season trying to get a bird, and it's like they just weren't coming out into the fields, you know, and that's like our default setup. I mean, you watch all of our videos, it's like we're always in a cut cornfield or a bean field or a hay field or something, and that's where we've killed all of our birds. But like they were in the woods gobbling, but they just weren't coming out. So you were like, dude, I'm getting pictures of them in the woods. Just go set up in the woods. So I literally went the night before, like after dark, an hour after dark, no flashlight, sneaking in there, setting up the blind, getting everything ready to go for the morning, and, well, you guys can watch the rest.
Don't say any more.
Welcome to 2021 turkey season. I got a weird setup today. I'm in the woods. I can't see a whole lot, but I know there's birds in here. I got 4 or 5 different birds gobbling to my east. They've already shut up. I mean, they're gobbling a little bit here and there. The neighbor's field is up there, and I just wonder if some of those birds aren't in that field, but it doesn't matter. We're going to stick it out for the full day here. Todd's had a lot of pictures and videos of turkeys in this woods, which is why I'm here, just using the intel from those cameras to try to figure out where these birds are at. We can hunt till 1 o'clock. It's only 6, so got a 7-hour sit ahead of me to hope something shows up in here. If I don't see anything or kill anything today, I'm going to reposition this blind a little bit for tomorrow, get a little bit of a better setup. But it's a nice place. It's a beautiful morning. I got deer down here in the field. Just had a raccoon walk through. Birds are gobbling. Geese are honking. Certainly could be worse things to be doing right now. It's always fun when the neighbor shoots one. Scared the crap out of me. Hopefully today is the day. It's beautiful weather. Birds were gobbling them. The roost. I don't know what that was. Somebody just killed one. Well, it's just about 7 o'clock. About an hour in. I haven't heard a gobble in probably half an hour. We had the neighbor shoot a bird within a couple 100 yards of us. But I did hear 1 or 2 gobbles after that, kind of farther down. Northeast to me, so I don't know. We're dug in like an Alabama tick. We're not going anywhere until I shoot a bird or legal hunting time ends. So, alright, well, it is just after 9. We got a bird gobbling, not too awfully far away. I mean, he's not super close, but he's probably, I'd say he's within 150 to 200 yards. Just randomly gobbled a couple times. I called, he responded. So I just shut up from there. See if he makes his way over. Just saw the decoys. Here they come. I hit the blind, but I hit the bird. He's laying down right here. Right, well, as I suspected, arrow does not look good at all. It's just feathers, so, I mean, maybe a tiny bit of fat, so it's definitely just a meat hit, but unfortunately when you're a turkey and you only got one leg, it's not a good situation, so I'm gonna have to go look for this bird, see if we can track him down, get another shot at him, or find some way to put him down, so, man. Well, I got a bunch of blood right here, so I suppose that's kind of a good sign. Oh yeah, okay, so this is where he tried to lay down right here. Okay, well, he went this way. Right, so he went this way. I thought he was coming back. Yeah, see, he started cutting over right here. You can see this. The line's over there, so I thought he was gonna cut this way in front of me and I'd be able to get a shot at him. But this is right where he started to fly, and he went down that way. I'm thinking he's dead. That's a pretty encouraging sign. That's quite a bit of blood for a turkey. I think right about, yeah, right about here's where he started to fly. Which is not good for me. I think he went that way. I don't think he came any farther this way. Alright, well, I've got a ton of blood here. We're, I don't know, 150 yards from the stand. So I'm thinking he may have landed in that tree and then fell or flew down, because I've got blood all over in here. And there's blood everywhere, all through in here and here and here and here. Here and here. I got a little bit of blood right there. So the question is, like, where did he go from here? Well, guys, this one was a bit of what you might call a goat rodeo out here. You know, everything was picture perfect this morning. We had birds gobbling on the roost. It was just a beautiful morning, a beautiful day. Had these two birds come in. You know, I've learned over the years, a lot of guys have talked a lot about, you know, don't overcall. So I heard these birds gobble right about 9 o'clock, maybe shortly after. I yelped one time at them, got them to respond, and then I just shut up. I didn't keep calling. I wasn't trying to get them fired up. They knew where I was at. They're looking for hens by that time of the morning. So sure enough, a couple minutes later, I catch them, you know, coming through the woods. They popped over the top of the hill. They couldn't see my decoys.
So I did give them one more series of yelps just to let them know I was there. They both fired off and gobbled. They came up over that hill. They saw those decoys down there, and they just puffed up and pretty much ran down the hill right at my decoys. Started beating them up. You know, the other bird had a full fan and was actually a bigger bird, but I couldn't get a shot at him. He was right behind the cross brace of the ground blind, and they were both there, and I was at full draw, and this one looked good enough for me. So I went ahead and took the shot. You know, unfortunately, you know, I hit the blind, and I was so worried about that this morning. When I got in there, I did a test sequence of drawing back, and I was like, man, this is gonna be tight. I need to make sure I sit up nice and tall when I shoot, and I tried. I remembered to do it, but unfortunately, I just didn't have enough clearance. So shot this bird, hit him low. You know, he took off and flew up into a tree. I watched him for a while. Then I heard him fly down, and I lost sight of him. And it took me, I don't know how long I've been looking, an hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that. I finally caught up with him. He was still alive down in this creek bottom. That's why his tail fan is all wet. But he was still alive. I did have to put a second shot to finish him off. But I knew this bird wasn't going to go far. I didn't want to give up. Man, I was close. A couple times I was like, I don't know where he is. I'm just going to give up. I'm going to get out of here. I was, you know, just upset with myself and decided to just keep going, keep after it. And, you know, it finally paid off. It wasn't the picture perfect hunt that I planned in my head this morning. It was up until the shot, but you know what? They don't always go as planned. So it is what it is. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Appreciate you watching. I still have one more turkey tag here in Illinois. We'll see if I'm able to get out next weekend. Just busy, a lot of stuff going on. Kids sports. Last year, everything was canceled with COVID, and this year it's back with a vengeance. So we got a lot of games and stuff going on next weekend. I'm not sure if I'll be able to sneak out or not, but if I do, hopefully I get another one. I have one more tag for another farm that I hunt, and we'll go from there. And if not, I guess I'll see you guys next time. Bowhunt or die, baby. All right, we're here at Dan's place. We're gonna do our official Trophy Tom weigh-in. We've zeroed our scale out. Ooh, I think he's bigger than last year's. 19.2. I think last year it was like 18.6 or something. There you go, 19.2. Poor guy. He had better days. He got a pretty decent beard on him. Not a monster, but he'll do. Not one of my finer moments.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I didn't make any debut in this. I came out to help Justin. That footage got left out. You know, the more I start watching Justin's videos, I start wondering just how much is being left out.
God did come help me look for the
It's
bird.
amazing,
We
folks.
used the thermal, but we failed.
We did.
And then Todd had to leave, and I was like, you know what? I'm out here for the weekend anyways. This bird is here somewhere. And I kind of wish I would have filmed a little bit more, but like, I was so just kind of like,
how much more are you going to film when you just walk around?
I know, you're
looking
just
for a turkey?
wandering around aimlessly through the woods. Like, who wants to watch that? And when I finally found the thing and it was still alive, I was like freaking out and rushing to get another arrow into the thing. So unfortunately, my GoPro stayed off for that. But hey, in the end,
maybe fortunately, not unfortunately.
Maybe fortunately it stayed off for that. But hey, in the end, I was able to recover that bird, and I was pretty happy about that. You know, this is like, I think my third time hitting a ground blind in my life. Like, and I don't hunt out of a ground blind a whole lot.
We even talked about this.
I know.
We talked about it. And you made me so insecure about it that the few times that I've been sticking in my blind, I've been like practicing, sitting up straight.
Well, so I knew it was going to be an issue. I got in the blind, and that's the problem with setting up in the dark. Then the next morning comes and you get in, and I'm like, I wish the decoys weren't there, and especially when you're on these hills, right? Because if your decoys are a little bit downhill now, and they were too close, and the angle, and I drew back, and I knew it was going to be an issue. So you could see in the over-the-shoulder shot, when I draw back, you see me like doing this.
I know, but the problem
is then I get settled in, and I come back down, and boom, right through the
I was thinking
blind.
so much about this that I was thinking, like, you know, the cords that you stick the stakes in, you could take it, make an S out of it. And someone takes this and patents this idea, I'm going to be mad at you. But you could like put it over the blind, put a little piece of rope on it, and pull it down and stick it in the ground. So that way you can just pull that down, just that one shooting spot. It's a good idea, man. So someone's going to make a bunch of money off that. Somebody wants to patent that, I will buy it if somebody wants to make that little like pull.
You'll buy the blind, you mean?
No. You use whatever blind you're using, but with the windows, it's just like a piece of metal. It's an S. You just put it on there. You tie a little rope on it. What's the name of that thing you learned doing the gear tie thing? You pull down, you stick in there. Come on, Courtney Googled it the last time we were out.
It's just the little plastic piece that slides on the rope.
You just give it a little tug, and you'd have that little V, and then you'd be all set.
I don't really know that you could patent any of that type of stuff, really.
That's all I got. Maybe you can't.
Yeah, whatever it is, I need it because I shot the blind in North Carolina however many years ago you and I went out there. Then I hit the dang blind in Wyoming when I missed an
Hey,
antelope.
listen, don't beat yourself up anymore. It's a great hunt. It's a great bird.
Yeah.
We're done. And tomorrow, you know what?
We're going tomorrow. You're going to get a bird.
We're gonna get my bird tomorrow. Justin and I are gonna team up and do something we've never done before. We're gonna get a bird together.
Chase turkey down and jump on it.
We're gonna. I guarantee there will be some sort of you put us two together. There's gonna be something happening tomorrow.
Whatever it takes. All right, guys. Next up, we're gonna jump into an Ask the Experts question, which is an interesting one that Brad picked out for us this week. It'll be fun to see Todd weigh in with his opinion. So this comes from a fella named James. Apparently, James does not have a last name. But he says, I've been looking at info about shooting heavier front of center arrow setups. Everyone has different opinions, and some think that it's just a fad. What is your take on the bump in heavy arrow users? There's a lot to unpack there, but before Todd and I weigh in, we're going to flip this one over to PJ Riley with Lancaster Archery and see what he has to say.
Hey guys, we got a great question here today, one that I'm sure Justin is very excited about. It's a bow hunter asking about FOC. He's asking about the increased popularity of archers who are boosting the weight at the front end of their arrow. That's considered higher FOC, front of center weight. What they're doing is doing different things to increase the weight at the point end, purportedly in the name of increased penetration. What they're doing is things like using brass inserts for their points. They're getting brass weights to add to those inserts and using, of course, heavier points. This is a field point. You're not going to hunt with this, but this is a 145 grain field point. Kind of 100 grain is standard. So what they're doing is ending up with arrows that may be 200, 300 grains just at the point end, which is certainly higher than normal. And so this bow hunter wanted to know what my opinion on that is. And for me, accuracy trumps all. I want to shoot what's most accurate. When you start getting to those heavier point weights, you're going to notice that your arrow speed is going to slow down. So maybe from 30 to 40 yards, your pin gap's going to be bigger. If I can't get to my rangefinder, that means my judging has to be on point more. And I found that if I have a 100 grain point and an average weight arrow, if I hit the right spot, it's going to do the job. Where that heavier FOC may come in is if you're going to hit a shoulder, hit a rib bone, something like that. Of course, nobody plans to do that, but if it happens, that would definitely help. For me, though, I'm sticking with 100 grains, average weight arrow. I'm probably in the 450 to 470 grain. That's my total arrow weight. For me, I found that works just perfectly. Justin, what do you think about that?
All right, well, thank you to PJ for his answer. And I do agree that accuracy is key because if you hit him in the right spot, most of this other stuff doesn't really matter that everybody worries so dang much about. When it comes to arrow weight and FOC, as they say, opinions are like bee-holes. Everyone's got one. And apparently they all stink, except mine, of course. Man, I personally, Mr. Graff, have aired on the heavier side of the spectrum for quite some time. Now, not quite as heavy as a lot of these new guys coming out here that are just shooting logs out of their bows. You know, these guys shooting 600, 700.
What are you talking about when you say these guys?
There's a lot of them that just go on. You do go on the internet much, Todd? You get on the internet a lot?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're talking about the ranch fair. There's a lot of information out there where he's
not
talking
him
about.
specifically.
There's a lot of people talking about these heavy arrows, but the bottom line is, and we say it every single year, you just got to hit him in the right spot. You can hit him with a field point in the right spot.
I mean, personally feel there's a point of diminishing return when it comes to the weight of an arrow. I think, and again, this is just my opinion, these guys are out here planning arrow setups that are they think anyways are always capable of getting through a deer's shoulder, because that's the big concern, right? That's the main thing when they talk about, like, I want to shoot an arrow for that just in case situation. Just in case I hit the shoulder, it's going to penetrate through and I'm going to recover that animal. And and so that arrow weight goes usually hand in hand with a fixed blade broadhead decision, which there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if people are going to go on one side of the spectrum or the other, I would certainly rather people go heavier than lighter, right? I think we've proven that the lightest of light arrows, isn't the best setup. But I think there's a point in the middle that's a really good setup for most people. And for me, that's been that 440 to 500 grain range. I don't really pay too much attention to my FOC, to be honest with you. Whatever it ends up being, it is what it is. And the way that I'm usually increasing my arrow weight is through heavier inserts. So brass inserts or weights on the back of my inserts. So that's my personal opinion. I'm sure
Accuracy kills.
people will disagree.
And I need to get more accurate.
Accuracy definitely kills, for sure.
We should do a t-shirt.
Multiple arrows kill sometimes too, as well. So thank you
in this episode.
thank you to James for the question and to PJ for the answer. Next up, guys, we're going to jump into some trophy photos. We got some really good ones this week, so let's take a look at them. Derek Eves.
Matt Bransoy.
Micah.
Steve Rickert.
Miguel Gonzalez.
And Tony Sheck. Well, thank you as always for sending in your trophy photos, but Miguel, 2 big birds. This is actually part of me and Justin's plans for next year. We are planning a turkey smash, get as many turkeys as we can next year spring. That's our plan.
We're going to shoot 2 of them
That's
on
our
the
goal.
same day.
I don't know, we have to figure out what states we can do that. We're going to talk to Miguel, see if he's got some room for us.
Miguel, hit us up, bro. We need a good turkey spot.
We need a good turkey spot.
Congratulations.
We are going to kill some turkeys next year. That was our
to
goal.
Miguel Gonzalez. Make sure you send your information in to us, info@bowhunting.com. We will get you your HS Strut prizes and, of course, your bowhunting.com and Bowhunter Die swag sent your way. Guys, keep the turkey photos coming. We got another couple weeks of exciting turkey hunts. The last couple days, the guys have been putting them down.
Except for me.
Except for you. Herman killed one. DeCrew and Morrison killed in Kansas. Jert killed one here in Illinois.
Dude,
right on
barefoot.
your spot.
That's not my spot. I don't turkey hunt there. We can cut it out.
Well, everyone else is killing
Tomorrow, I'm
turkeys.
gonna get my
Tomorrow,
bird.
Todd's getting one. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed it. We will see you next week right here on Bowhunter Die.
Die. Miguel, oh jeez Louise. Gonzalez? You say that.
That is like literally the most easy Spanish last name that there is.
Not when you're dumb like me, it's pronounced Gonzella. Gonzel. I suck at this.